Former Vice President Atiku has resigned his membership of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) with immediate effect. In a letter dated July 14, 2025, and addressed to the chairman of the PDP, Jada One Ward, Jada local government area of Adamawa State, Atiku stated that his resignation was due to irreconcilable differences that have emerged within the former ruling party. He noted that he found it necessary to part ways due to the current trajectory the party had taken, which, according to him, diverges from the fundamental principles it stood for.
Hmm. Atiku Abubakar, yes, constitutionally speaking, has the right to associate with any political party it deems fit. But over time, the impression Atiku Abubakar is creating in the minds of Nigerians is one of desperation. He's beginning to look like a man who is desperate and can do anything just to cling to power. That's exactly what we're seeing. Let's not forget that Atiku Abubakar started with the SDP in 1993. As we speak, the Social Democratic Party is still in existence. But he left that party for the PDP in 1999, became a vice president twice on the platform. And when he couldn't get the party's presidential tickets, he left the PDP for ACN. Bola Ahmed Tinubu practically gave him the ticket of that party, the presidential ticket. He ran on that platform and he couldn't get the presidential seat in Aso Rock. He left the ACN, returned back to the PDP, left the PDP again under Goodluck Jonathan, and they brought down that administration, formed or merged into what we now know as APC. When he saw that he couldn't get a ticket from the APC after contesting against Muhammadu Buhari for the presidential ticket, he left the APC for the PDP. Despite all he did against the PDP welcomed him with open hands. He slugged out, um, he actually contested for the party's presidential ticket, slugging it out with other people who had remained in that party. Eventually, he got it in 2019, 2023, when there was this notion that every presidential aspirant should come from the South. Atiku Abubakar was able to maneuver his way in the PDP and got the ticket again. As it is now, with the likes of Yeson Wike ensuring that Atiku would not have a smooth flow ahead of the 2027 elections, he has officially dumped the party for the ADC today. So, for me, this doesn't tell well of someone. It paints a picture of someone you cannot trust, of someone who believes that if I cannot have it, let the house collapse, I'll go become a tenant in some other person's house. That is the impression Atiku has created. And the bad thing about such an impression is, eventually when this kind of a man gets power, let's not forget that contesting election is capital intensive in Nigeria. Someone who had contested for this number of times has spent a lot of money. The person would definitely want to recoup the money he had spent. That is what we have seen over time. So if eventually he gets power, believe me, the mindset would be, hey, I've spent so much already. I may be owing banks, let me recoup the monies that I had spent in the past. At the detriment of that will be Nigerians and infrastructure. Nigerians will get to suffer, infrastructure will get to suffer, because it won't be all about improving the people. It will be all about getting back what he had spent over the years.
Well, basically, maybe what I should have just added was, where next?
Exactly.
Where next? Because it's been everywhere, except to maybe go to a court party or to, Abga is a big party. Any of these
Okay.
relatively unknown ones. They don't want to be called small party, isn't it? They are all parties, by the way. The thing is, desperation is actually a factor there. I recall that in the build-up to the 2023 election, now governor of Abia State, as a candidate of the Labour Party then, he was in the studio here. And I recall asking that question. Dr. Otisa, the average Nigerian would think that you are desperate, having been in the PDP, in the APGA, to PDP, to APC, and now Labour Party. And he gave me a simple answer. He said, if what Nigerians would call desperation is what he is doing, he would continue to do it as long as he had the interest of Abians at heart, and that he must need a political platform, with which to contest and do what he had in mind for Abians. And honestly, I was caught hands down. For Atiku Abubakar, we've not been able to see a clear-cut reason he's contesting other than desperation. Because one party that has given you the opportunity, first and foremost, to win as the governor of Adamawa State, don't forget.
That's right.
It was when he was chosen as the vice presidential candidate that he left it for Boni Haruna, who was supposed to be his deputy at the time. So from there, you've gone from the same party, come back, you've gone, you're back, and now you have reasons to leave again, irreconcilable differences. A lot of Nigerians will say that the differences in the party, if not for what Wike is doing now, were actually caused by, Atiku Abubakar. So what exactly do you mean by, irreconcilable differences? Some people, the reason Wike is what he is today is because it had been agreed that the South should produce the candidate of the PDP. And then they were in a convention. It was a convention or congress, I don't know how you call it now, in Port Harcourt.
Convention.
All right? And it was, the South was coasting home, literally, only for a Tambuwal against all constitutional norms. And it was accepted for whatever reason. Is it money? Tambuwal had gone, only for him to come around to say, oh, I have collapsed my own delegates into, and that was what changed the game in favor of Atiku, by the way.
That's right.
Now you are going to ADC. Well, I don't know how they're going to do this, but you should know that the ADC itself will not be settled, because I hear a portion of the party has gone to court, that we couldn't have been building this home since, and then you want to come and take charge. We have the likes of Peter Obi that a lot of people say, okay, if he's going there, we may follow. And Peter is not truly there yet. If his ambition or his reason for going to the ADC is to contest the presidential ticket again, which a lot of Nigerians figure that is what he wants to do, he may fail again. He should as well look, introspectively and say to himself, oh, I don't try this entire. Yes, sir, he don't do. And then say, okay, let me join those that will produce a candidate that will pull Nigeria out of the woods, so that based on that, they can all join hands and campaign. Because for the APC to be what it is today, from the amalgamation that brought up Buhari in the first place, many parties have to come together. Yes, if others have to join, and it can be as formidable as the APC turned out to be, they may just give the APC a big fight in 2027 and maybe after that. But if it is for the purpose of grabbing power to achieve your ambition, oh, I don't do, I'm at last, it's going to be a tough task for Atiku. So we'll wait and see as usual. But again, I think wisdom, age, should inform him that, no two things are the same. Not even Siamese twins, not even conjoined twins, have exactly the same, brain and mentality. So that some people had contested many times before and eventually won, did not or does not mean that if you toe the same line, you may end up winning. But who knows? Coincidentally, he might just as well win. But again, I think Nigerians know better. Let's see who will pick it.